All right? Let me repeat the question. You nod if I get it right. The question is this. Yesterday we talked about doing what you're best at. And then we talked about stop doing the things you're not at. This sounds like a huge time piece. It's going to take a lot of your time. What would you say to that?
I would say it depends on how you're using it. For example, one of Saddleback Church's main accounts is managed by a guy who spends 30 minutes a day on it. So in 30 minutes a day, he manages all of the daily activity around the main church account. So it's not necessarily something that is a major time bandit unless you linger there. You can get caught in the trap of being so entertained by it and so obsessed with it that you're trying to do everything. One of the things that was somewhere in the notes there that I don't think we hit on, but one of the great things about social media is the ability to reach out to somebody and have a conversation. You can't necessarily reach out to everybody. If you try, it will suck away all of your time. So what I would say is let the whole crowd see that you did one thing with one person, that you reached this one guy, and let the rest of the crowd observe that. So you could spend all of your time responding.
There are people who get obsessed by it. Mm-hmm. They're tweeting every 5 minutes, and it can be a huge time waster. Number one time waster in the workplace right now, Facebook.
Yeah.
People are living on that. Having said that, a guy recently, I was at Saddleback when they did the Radicalis, I guess a year and a half ago, and Rick was not on Twitter, and Rick stood on stage and made fun of Twitter, going, I don't know, Twitter is so self-absorbed. Why would anybody get on Twitter? I don't care about that. And I was up there with a couple of the guys that were doing the video cast there, and I was saying, oh, don't tell Rick, don't say that. Yeah. I mean, and I didn't talk to Rick, but somebody got to Rick, and he decided Twitter could be a place where he could speak and create relationships. And he now owns Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, hundreds of thousands. What's he at now right now?
It's 360,000.
360,000 something followers. And if you're a church planner, he will follow you back. And when he follows you back, that means you can DM him. Now, he can't answer everything, but what he does, he types all his own tweets. Mm-hmm. He finds time. But you're going to have to decide what you can do. But part of it, when you get huge, you can hide.
Yeah.
When you're small, you can't hide. You've got to spend more time on connecting than you spend on sermon preparation. And one of the things you can do is maximize time in connecting by using some of these social media things if you do it good.
One other thing, I hate to belabor it, but don't view social media as another thing. There's not sermon prep, counseling, social media. Social media is just who I am in a public way. So it's not an activity as much as it is I'm just living out loud as opposed to living closed off. So.
Yeah, and you probably need to post 2 to 5 times a day on Twitter, a couple times a day on Facebook. You don't have to fill it up with that. You can use the feature of scheduling tweets to do some of that. Yeah. There's times I'm just absent, but try to stay in there and engage because people are watching. Somebody else, question? Yes, sir, all the way in the back, nice and loud. Let me answer first, then you can answer. I quit letting porn stars follow me on Twitter. Evidently, there's something about the look I have that they wanted to follow me.
It's magnetic.
So I blocked them from there because I don't need that press. On Facebook, I'll pretty much friend everybody I know. Now, if you're from Ontario, and you know, one of the things on Facebook when they go to friends, you can see who their friends are that you know.
Yeah.
And I'm a little more selective now in that. But the thing with Facebook, you can block them from writing on your wall.
Yeah.
You can decide what you allow there. So you can decide how much information people see. And if you don't want to post anymore on your wall, you can block them. I've done that with people who they don't know it, but I don't want everything they put up there on my wall. Yeah. So what about you? Go ahead.
It's kind of the same policy. I don't follow everybody back on Twitter for the same reason. And with Facebook, I'll pretty much friend anybody that requests me. I look to see if we have a lot of friends in common. That can be 10 or 20 or 100 or whatever. It lets me know. And my question is, do I know this person from somewhere? Doesn't mean I know them, but have I seen some familiarity with them? And if so, I'll just click accept and hide people the way you do. People that annoy me, I'll never tell them. I'll just lovingly hide them. But the other thing I would say about that is, as you friend a bunch of people, especially for leaders in ministry, especially for married guys and married ladies, turn chat off.
Yep.
You don't need to be accessible on Facebook chat, period. There's no advantage that you could convince me that it's worth the risk that you will run into if you can gauge
Well, it's
them.
that, and they want to talk to you, and you may just be on there looking, and you don't want to have a conversation, and
Yeah.
why are you talking to me? Please stop. So I'll log off. Mine just stays locked off. Yeah, that's good. Yes, ma'am.
Well, with a page, it doesn't matter. You don't accept friendships. People just click the like button and they're tuned into you. You don't moderate whether you tune back into them or not. So
Now, the problem with that, though, is if they fan you or like you, then they can post if you allow people to post on there.
Yeah.
And you've had the problem with people because you can't delete that. What do you do when somebody posts that you don't like what they posted?
we have that problem a lot with Rick Warren's page.
Go figure.
There's some, occasionally someone gets critical about Rick Warren. And we allow disagreement. We allow criticism. We allow healthy discussion. But if somebody gets into personal things, mudslinging, we just ban them, and they can't come back. And we don't apologize for that.
And you can also post several posts on top that pushes them off the page.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, sir.
But one other thing, you can choose how much people see you. On my Facebook page, I let them see everything about me.
Yeah.
Because that's not public to me. I don't put private photos on there or anything like that. If it's on there, then it's okay for everybody to see. And that way, they don't have to be my friend to see a lot of it. The other advantage of just a page, you don't have to be on Facebook to see it.
Yeah.
A Facebook page now, you have to either allow me to friend you, whatever. A page that he's talking about is seeable if you didn't even have a Facebook account. So anybody can go there.
Yeah. Yeah. You're talking about basically affiliate links. I think depending on the state you live in, Amazon is big because Amazon is the king of upselling. So you can recommend a book this week and use an Amazon link that has your church, your church
An associate's account.
Yeah, your church would make money from it. But the great thing is if somebody clicks that link, anything they buy on Amazon in the next 24 hours, you gain a commission on. I've sold hiking boots on Amazon because someone clicked on a book I had posted. So Amazon's probably one of the biggest. Do you guys do any of that? Past
We have an
Amazon?
associate's account there, and we create books that we recommend too. So we'll have books on family, all that, and I send them from our webpage. That way they can just click there and buy them. When they do, we get a small percentage, not a lot of money. You're not going to pay the bills with that,
Yeah.
unless you're branding, not me.
No, and I don't do much of that at all, partly because I found that whenever I dabble in it, people begin to question my authenticity.
Yeah, you got to be
So-
careful selling. I wouldn't try to make money off a Facebook page by saying, go here and buy this, and they'll
Yeah.
give you $5, because everybody wants a piece of you, and they want to make money off you. I've had them, the multi-level marketers, and we've got guys in our church, and that's fine. If you're going to do multi-level marketing, I'm not going to do it. But they always will say to me, you have so many people, you could do it. Well, that's an abuse of position, power, whatever else you want to call it. And I don't want to get that confused there. Does that make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a good mix. Did you hear what he said? He's basically asking, should you post more about things that are coming or things that have happened? And I think you got to have a mix. I would say in terms of things that have happened, think 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and don't go past that when you're writing a story about something that's happened. And just make sure that your website is designed in such a way that upcoming events and recent happenings gain equal attention, so that if you've got your calendar of events and recent stories, so that they both can be easily spotted. But I think both have a lot of value. Past events says we're at a church that's alive and doing things. Future events says we're going to keep on doing that.
And keep it updated.
Yeah.
Nothing's worse than going to somebody's website or their blog and they're talking about Easter services, and we're doing 5 of them, and it's July or August.
Yeah.
They don't get it. And so you've got to. We just made service times changes, and we sat in staff and we spent 20 minutes on everywhere on the web. We have a time. Everywhere we list anything and make sure it's cleaned up and the change goes for this Sunday. So I wanted it all fixed by this past Sunday afternoon. Well, it was the last day there. Now I want everything changed and cleaned up and shot out right, so I do not want it confusing.
Yeah. I would also say when you're publishing stories, always have some kind of imagery, but don't go to the cheesy guy, the stock photo with his big cheesy smile and his hand stuck out to shake your hand. And do something human or something cool. something that says something about your church. I mean, a picture of your church's cemetery might be pretty, but it's probably not going to tell people your church is alive. So
yeah, and when you're putting pictures of people up there, people go back and forth. Should I use my own people? Because a lot of times they'll leave, or should I use others? I try to do this with pictures. I want to make it so somebody looking at them sees themselves there. So I will put three. I won't ever put like a couple by themselves. That are married with kids, because it looks like, oh, that's just a church for married people. I'll try to put 3 adults in there when I do it, so if you're married, you're going, oh, those 2 are probably married, and if you're single, you're going, oh, well, they're singles. Are you with me? I try to think diversity.
yeah,
Now, that is a tough deal when you're going online to, where do you get pictures? I'm trying, my mind just
like
went
an
blank.
iStock photo.
Thank you. iStock photo. Do a search for diversity. All 3 pictures will come up. I mean, it's harder to find that. You'd think the media was better there, but you just want to pay attention to those type things when you're doing it. You got somebody? Another question? Somebody? I thought. Yes, ma'am. Give Mike White a hand. Give him a hand. That's Mike.
She's asking about check-ins.
I don't know why I don't understand that age, I guess, but it just.
Well, and I'm surprised we didn't come across check-ins in our discussion. But to me, when you get ready to begin a worship service, in the 1990s, we told everybody to turn their cell phones off. But to me, when you begin a service, tell them to turn them on.
And check in. Yep.
And check in. In fact, at some of our men's ministry meetings at Saddleback, we would do what we called 5-minute warning. And we'd say, 5 minutes is going to start, check in now. And all the guys knew to pull out their cell phone, check in. Are you asking like how many times in a week someone? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like the book idea. One of the things I'm doing right now is I'm taking a sermon or 2 that I've done over the last several years that was good and practical, turning it into a book. I'm having somebody transcribe it, have a couple editors do it. But then I'm going to upload it on Kindle. If you're not using Kindle yet like this, you can upload to Kindle for free. And whatever you charge, they get a piece of, but you can turn it around like that. So I'm going to produce it free as a PDF. I'll also upload it on Kindle, probably charge $1.99, so there's a perceived value. I really don't care much if people buy it. It'll make me feel better, I guess. But I don't, that's not my goal there. The goal is to bring value to it and give stuff away. Value first. What do you have for me? And they probably don't want a picture of you and your family. They really want something to help. You know, if you'll click here, if you'll like us, we'll send you an ebook on how to spend time with God daily. If you click here, we'll send you an ebook to do that, and just get creative with that. Yeah. And there's also free Kindle books you can give to people.
Yeah, absolutely. You can publish a blog to Kindle as well, like a magazine. So, yeah.
Anybody else? All right. Do this for me. We need a drum roll. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, number 24 in your program, number 1 in your heart, Ron Sylvia. Give it up. You said to do that. Was that good?
That was good, man. All right, let's give these guys a big hand. Downloaded a bunch of information to you rapidly. Thank you, Hal, Brandon.